I can't shout out anything because all I've been like the media I've been consuming is from you. Like
you can still shout that out. It's quality trash.
I should just
quality trash.
Shout out.
My friend, just need to know our friendship won't end. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy.
Hello and welcome to Girls Who Came to Sugar Bakers, where nerds and platonic life partners Erin and Leslie watch episodes of Designing Women, then recap, review, and share other fun things related to the show. I'm Leslie.
And I'm Erin.
What's up?
Here we go.
First time in weeks.
Yeah.
This year? First time this
It's
year?
first time this year. It's the first time, I think it was like the week before New Year's that we last recorded. So I remember we're like, this is probably it for 2019.
Oh, yeah. 2019. Here we are, 2020.
Yeah. And they were like,
I posted on December 27th.
yeah, it's been a minute.
2020 is busy.
It's busy.
It's a lot.
You've moved into your new place.
Yep.
So I wonder if it's gonna
I don't know
sound
what
different.
it's going to sound like. It'll probably sound more echoey. But
Sorry, I just snurfled on the phone. Yeah, because snurfle off the microphone. Yeah, because I remember how there's a couple when I was in my apartment in LA that was more like this, like with no carpets or anything, and it's like more echoey. So we might be echoey.
Sorry about it. We'll do our best.
Sorry about it. Yes. So Leslie, do you have some shout out / sugar baker moment?
Yeah. So new apartment.
Yep.
Yay. I love it. I never want to leave it. I really wish I could spend some time here.
Wait, you
That'd
really
be
like
nice.
staying here?
Yeah.
That's so exciting because you didn't really like your old apartment.
I did not. I hated that place. I really like it here.
So I'm pretty excited. I mean, I like being here, but like, yeah, I didn't know that you really liked it.
I wish I could spend more time here. I haven't really been here at all.
You haven't? Nope.
Welcome to 2020. Never gonna be home. Start my internship Tuesday, which is cool. Shout outs include Bad Boys for Life. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
Oh, it was so fun.
I was worried.
See it again.
I need not have worried. They did a wonderful job.
So good. I think it was like if you like those movies, you would like it.
Yeah. If you're a fan of the first two, I don't think that this one will be a letdown. If you don't like the first two, don't fucking go see it.
See something else.
My boss is not a fan of either of the first two, and I was like, well, then you don't need to see Bad Boys for Life. It's not going to change your mind about this
Saw
franchise.
Bad Boys 1 wasn't into it, but then saw Bad Boys 2.
I don't think he finished Bad Boys 2. He watches things in like shifts. So I don't know that he ever finished Bad Boys 2, but he wasn't like a huge fan of Bad Boys 1. And so I was like, oh, you don't need to see this then. It's not going to change your mind. But if you already like them, you'll probably like this one.
I'm just not used to, look, you and I met at a movie theater and we go to a lot of movies and we like a lot of people who like movies. I don't know what to do with people who don't like movies. Who watch
He likes movies.
Who watches them in shifts. What is that shit?
I used to have to do that with some movies. The really long ones I don't watch. Like I won't watch a 3.5 hour movie in one setting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't know.
I'm just throwing shade. I'm sorry.
Throwing shade.
I'm just defensive.
I know. I get upset when people don't like Bad Boys too.
It's okay.
Another shout out, Like a Boss. Tiffany Haddish
that was so fun.
And Rose Byrne. We saw that as well.
Shout out to Alamo where we've been seeing all these. I guess.
Yep. Shout out to Alamo.
Yeah.
Home Away from Home.
Yeah.
What else? Homework by Julie Andrews, specifically the audiobook. It is a memoir autobiography, and she reads
it. Listen to it. Oh, that voice.
Yep. Also, The Seep by Chana Porter. It's very weird. So you gotta like your fiction kind of like speculative and weird. It's about a trans woman and her wife. When we first meet them, they are not married, but it's like takes like several years as a storyline, and like aliens have invaded. But they're
I was not expecting you to say that.
No, it's very weird.
I was not expecting that.
They're aliens. They have really cool like technology and stuff, and like they give it to us, but they're kind of like parasites, but they don't like kill you. Like they need us to live. And so in return, they give us like more abilities. So like some of it is kind of like the Neolution stuff from Orphan Black. Like you can change your appearance. You can add like somebody in the story has a unicorn horn. Like you could have a tail, like whatever you want. But also it helps. There's like sort of magic in the world now. Like, the main character is now a doctor, and she uses a lot of that technology to heal people.
Oh, that's cool.
She used to be a rock star, and now she's a doctor. It's really cool. Before the aliens, she was a rock star. That. But two, it explores a lot of like self-identity, and she goes on a quest because her wife decides, which is very weird to me, but I assume like if you love someone all encompassing, this is something that you would want. Her wife decides she wants to be reborn as a baby, because you can do that. Whoa. And be raised like in this new world that doesn't have all
so
of
you don't know
the
anything different.
Yeah. So like all of the baggage and like all the stuff that happened before the aliens, like she wants to be raised by loving parents in this new world. And she wants her wife to raise her, and her wife is like, no. Like, if not, just stay with me.
No,
like,
guess what? That's weird.
It's weird. Okay.
That's
like,
all kinds of issues right there. I don't like any of them.
So she decides she's doing this. So now the main character is like on her own again, and she's without her wife, who she loves, and she goes on like a quest and a journey. But a lot of it too is like her introspection, because she is trans and she has had surgery, and all of this happened before the aliens. And this is kind of spoilers, but not like, she finds out one of the characters who she thought she knew is actually like, that's not what he looks like.
Oh,
like he's completely changed his appearance with this technology.
Okay.
But for her to be in her body, like she had to physically go through surgery. Yes. She had to go through all this stuff and the emotional baggage and all of this to be who she is. And now people can just be like, I just want to look like that person over there, or I want to be a different gender, and they can just like do it. Easy. Oh. Yeah. So there's issues with that too.
Interesting.
It's very short. It's only a couple 100 pages. It's very weird, which is how I like my fiction. So highly recommend. That is out now. I think it came out last week. Yeah, it came out last week. So the Seep.
Wow. That's interesting.
And that's it. That's all my shout outs. Do you have moments, shout outs, whatevs?
I have an anti shout out for The Turning.
We saw that today.
It was
flat.
Fine until the last 5 minutes.
It felt long though.
Oh, it was long.
I got a little bored.
Yeah, you're right.
Here and
I
there.
had to pee, so I wasn't bored. So
you had something to focus on.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not what this podcast is about. Because I also saw Bad Boys 2 with you, and Bad Boys 2.
Bad Boys 3.
Bad
Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life. True story. Never really noticed. I knew it was Bad Boys for Life, but I forgot. And so I just kept going to Bad Boys 3 with Leslie. And then I was like, I want the next one to be Bad Boys for Life. And I was like, fuck, wait, what? Like, I just kept saying it. And then, like, Leslie is so polite. She'll never correct me, like, ever. And then I get home, I was like, wait, it was Bad Boys for Life already. They missed a trick. It could have been the fourth one.
Could have been the fourth one.
So mad at that. I'm so stupid. I don't know how you deal with it. I do have a shout out for She Reads Tales, which is actually Leslie's Instagram. I should say, is it yours? Can I say that's yours?
Oh yeah.
It's Leslie's Instagram, where she talks about the books that she's reading, both audio, ebook, paper books, graphic novels, whatever it is, everything she's consuming of a bookish nature. She talks about it on there, and that's actually where the last two things that I have read Alone, which she was talking about on the podcast like two or so episodes ago. It may have been the last episode you talked about it, because I went ahead and downloaded it from your Audible. I stole it. Let's shout out, what's the reader we like?
Abby Craden.
She's
the best.
She is so good. She is if you any audiobooks by her, just read them. She's so good. She just makes you feel like you're with multiple people. And also I finished The Lost Coast today, or last night or whatever, and that was really fun, because I originally started reading it when I was in Northern California when I started, and then there was like a dramatic weekend. I had to put away the book because it was also at a dramatic part, and then I didn't pick it back up because like there was a character that had a sad name for me, so I had to just wait. So I reread it, and it was really fun. And I love how like there's like a twist, if you will. And I was like, oh, I bet that's what's going on. And it was. And I was like, yes. But they make it kind of obvious, because it's like, that's the thing about like young adult fiction, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, I know. You make you feel smart. But it was a fun little escape book. What else have I been doing that would be interesting? I think that's about it. Sugar baker moment. Because I am kind of proud of myself that I've been, I don't know, people don't talk about money, but I'm going to talk a little bit about money on our podcast. I've been like teaching myself how to be like more financially responsible, because I've been like a grad student and a resident for the past 4 years in very expensive cities. So it's been really hard. And so I had like a sugar baker moment on Friday. Leslie, as well as my friend Lee, have been helping me a lot, talking about the stuff they do to be more, I'm inspired by how they have, I don't think you were ever financially irresponsible, but I think that
I did get into some debt with the house.
Well, that happens with the house. But I'm just really impressed with, while I've been going off getting a master's and being a resident and being in these incredibly expensive cities, my friends have been very adult and responsible and like having savings and like setting up good places to live and that kind of stuff. And so I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Which is funny because I'm older than both of them. So I was like, whoops, let me catch up. So on Friday, I actually went to a local credit union and took some, actually a payout for my old job, and like set up an account and talk to them about some financial advising of like what would be the best thing to do with it. Cause I'm trying to give myself a nest egg of like savings. And, so that was a good sugar baker moment for me because I've never done anything like that. Oh, and my car was paid off.
Yeah.
That was part of it. Like the week before, my car is paid off. I got this payout. Like it just seems like things are kind of working together for me to, kind of just figure out how to do this stuff. And there are a lot of resources out there. Like people don't talk enough about money.
No.
Certain health things and money they don't talk
People
about.
do not.
And these are my two like best friends, and I have other best friends too. But these are two of my closest best friends, and I have felt really weird talking to them about money.
I love talking about money.
Like I was like, I even said to Lee, I was like, I'm sorry if this is like awkward. I'm trying to like learn it. And I said that to Leslie today. I was like, I'm sorry if this is like uncomfortable because we were told we're not supposed to talk about this.
Yep. That's how we were raised. Like you don't tell other people about your money or financial situation or whatever. And
then maybe particularly a Southern thing because we all are raised in this area too. Yeah. Well, like you mean the South. I mean, not you were raised in Virginia, but maybe that's a thing. I don't know. But that it's just making it so that you don't. How am I going to learn? How am I going to know what people are doing? Yep. So there was what is it? The money podcast that it's
called How to Money.
How to Money. I've been a lot of those episodes are a little bit beyond where I am now, but just recently they had an episode that was like that was actually a couple weeks ago that I was listening to. That's like how to stop living paycheck to paycheck.
That's a good episode.
Like that's a place to start. Like how to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Like a lot of their stuff is for people who already have savings and how to make the most of it. But then it is like how to get out of debt, like how to stop living paycheck to paycheck, how to have a good side hustle, like all those kind of things. So that was a little sugar baker moment / shout out to that podcast and my friends who are willing to talk about it. And if you have friends that feel comfortable talking about money, talk to them about it. Like let's all, let's do that. Let's not have shame around struggles.
Yeah. Everybody's struggling. Our generation has no money.
That's the whole thing.
We have no money.
That
we
are
never
now
will.
like in their like 30s are just screwed by the boomers, So it's like, what are we going to do about it? Let's kind of band together and talk to each other about like, what are you doing? How are you making it work? Because this shit is hard.
Yeah.
So there we go. Did you want me to talk about the episode?
Yeah, what did we watch this week?
I accidentally hit the back button on my phone.
No.
So let me get it again. I hit not only while I was kind of nervously talking about money and throwing my phone around on the couch beside me, I hit like to turn on the video. So season 6 is what we watched. Season 6, episode 16, Carlene's Apartment. It first aired January 20th, 1992. Oh, man.
Oh, we're so close.
We're so close.
We waited so long we got close again.
Wow, that was crazy. Carlene moves into... Oh, sorry, with TV Guide. We know where we're reading it from. TV Guide reads, Carlene moves into her own apartment on the wrong side of town, where space is at a minimum and burglars roam free. There are no guest stars in this one, and that actually is appropriate for what I was just talking about. I didn't think about that.
Oh yeah,
because I'm like, I'm trying, because I've never lived by myself before, and I'm trying to like eventually have my own apartment. I haven't since I was like 20.
Yeah,
it's 15 years ago. It was the last time I lived by myself when I was in school. So that's the episode, Leslie. Now we've already discussed that this episode is
bonkers.
That's exactly the word I was gonna say.
It's so crazy.
Do we want to talk about what happens in this bonkers episode?
So we start off normal and usual at Sugar Baker's. Mary Jo comes in and says she just heard on the radio that the space shuttle just came back a day early because the treadmill and the VCR were broken and their fax machine was jammed. Why do they have a fax machine in space is what I want to know.
To, send things back and forth.
Don't they have like other means of communication? Yeah. If all y'all got is a fax machine, maybe you shouldn't go to space.
They talked about, here's the thing. I had one little bugaboo to pick with this. Is they're like acting like they're so like, oh, that's so annoying. But if the fax machine is their best mode of communication, or their backup mode of communication, and they need the treadmill because they can't walk on anything. So I'm like, those are actually reasons to come back. I was the asshole who was like sticking up for the astronauts out of this joke. I was taking it seriously. I was like, come on. Anyway,
and
go
she
ahead.
Says, what kind of whims are astronauts today? Can't even be up there 24 hours without seeing Home Alone, which that was funny.
I liked that.
Carlene says she hates to interrupt because she loves Mary Jo's morning monologues. They are so witty, but if she doesn't tell what she has to tell, she's gonna burst.
Yeah.
So Julia is like, everyone, please give Carlene your undivided attention. Ma'am, the floor is yours. And then she gets nervous.
Oh.
She's like, I feel like I'm in one of those deodorant commercials where they say, you work hard and you smell bad. And Allison's like, Carlene, just spit it out.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I got my own apartment. I feel like a full-time, full-fledged career woman with a bachelorette pad.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
And Marriage is like, I thought you were staying at Charlene and Bill's house. Mm-hmm. And she explains that she is, but they have this house swap thing with a couple in London, and the couple in London, like, they're coming back early, so they want the house. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, I just thought, what the heck? Carlene Dauber's going to spread her wings and fly. Mm-hmm. And Allison's like, all right, everybody needs to get back to work now. And Carlene's like, no, I'm not finished.
Nope.
And she's like, please don't tell us you just bought matching lava lamps. And Carlene,
that was so annoying.
She's annoying. Mm-hmm. And Carlene says, no, I wanted to invite y'all over to my house for dinner and to spend the night to christen the new pad.
I hated that.
No. I was happy to have all the people who helped me move stay for lunch and have some pizza and some beer for like a couple hours.
Yeah.
And then y'all can leave.
Get out.
I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
And Mary Jo's like, why do you want us to spend the night? Mary Jo is in our court here. No.
Yeah.
And Carlene says, I thought it'd be fun, like being in one of those sororities that I never got to be in. She also wants Anthony to come.
Yeah.
And he tells her that's very thoughtful. And he says, Carlene, I never thought I'd get a chance to be in one of those sororities either. And Carlene's like, isn't it just great how things automatically work out for the best?
What? No. What? Yeah, you can tell you're Charlene's sister.
Oh, man. Do you ever feel like you're starring in a sitcom of your own life? They're getting a little meta here.
I know.
She's like, sometimes I just feel like I'll just be walking down the street. It's the Carlene Dauber show starring Carlene Dauber. And I'd have my at-home friends and my work friends, and y'all be my work friends.
That's weird.
And then it would also say Julia Sugarbaker as the boss. And Julia gives like a little wave. And also starring Allison Sugarbaker, the person who wants to be the boss. And Mary Jo Shavley as a sympathetic neighbor and best friend.
Uh-huh.
And Anthony Bouvier as Jerome. What? His name just can't be Anthony?
What?
Why you gotta go there?
Look up a reference that comes up later.
She
Jerome.
said, and then you see, like, you'd always have a catchphase because he's the funny black guy. He has to have a catchphrase. And she's like, something like,
oh, God.
Yo, mama. And she puts on, like, the voice.
It's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And Anthony just laughs. He's like, well, thank you, Carlene. It's nice to have a character so fleshed out. And he says, I bet you spent a lot of time thinking about that. And Carlene's like, are you kidding? I've even got a theme song. I did not write the words down. I know them. I'm not going to sing them. You can watch the video of this song on our YouTube. It is there. Going on. Then she sings the song. At the end, she's like, and then we slide down a great big slide together. A giant slide together.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like that's what they did in like Full House or Step by Step or like one of those shows where it's like the giant slides. It was one of those like Friday night shows.
Yeah, that happens.
Anthony is amused. Allison is not amused. And then we cut to driving to Carlene's apartment. There's not a lot of like change in time or scenery here. There's like Carlene announcing she has her apartment, and then there's like them going there and them being there. So not a whole lot of time elapses at all.
No.
And so they're going and they're just driving and driving and driving. And Allison can't believe they're going to a crummy studio apartment to roast weenies on a hibachi and spend the night. And Julia explains how important this is for Carlene.
Yes.
We've never seen her so excited.
Yeah, symbolic.
Exactly. She's like, I for one would not
like leave her husband and stuff, you know.
She's done a lot. And she says, I for one would not do anything to spoil her plans.
Yeah.
She says, I will of course restrict myself to one weenie. And Allison's like, all I can say is we're leaving. Weenies. Yeah. We're leaving at the crack of dawn. And she says this multiple times.
Over and over.
Marriage is like, you've already said that 15 times now. Like, none of us is looking forward to this, but it's important for Carlene. Although I did need to stay at home tonight and give my dog Brownie a flea dip. Where is Brownie? Why have we never seen Brownie? I want to see the damn dog.
Why did Brownie come back up again?
Your dog.
Where is Brownie? Don't even talk. You've
been talking about him for 6 years,
reason.
And we don't ever get to see him.
It does not matter.
We've been to your house. Where's your dog?
Where's your dog?
When I go to somebody's house, their dog usually greets me. We've been to her house many times.
It's Babadook. There is no Brownie. Oh wait, spoilers. That doesn't really work for that.
It doesn't
you know what
work.
I mean? It doesn't. But
that's not real spoilers.
It's not. But it's like, yeah, there's no. This is too. Well, I'm just going to get comfortable on the couch. Yeah,
I don't understand.
It doesn't add to nothing.
It adds nothing.
Does it add her layers for her?
I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
She's
got kids. Not enough layers.
I know. Come on.
We do at least see them sometimes.
Yeah.
And Julia says it's going to be a long night. And then they go, they're still sitting there, and Allison says, who brought the pink vinyl bag with Barbie on it? And no one answers.
This is so dumb. Like, we know it's going to be Anthony, because why else would you talk about it?
She's like, I'm just going to go through it and look and find out. And Anthony's like, fine, it's mine. I bought it for my niece, but I didn't get a chance to mail it. I couldn't find my gym bag, so I'm using it.
Yeah.
And then Julia, they've been driving forever, asks if they took a wrong turn. Like, she has been in Atlanta for years, but like, she doesn't recognize this place. It looks run down. And Allison's like, oh, there's like hair or like beauty supply stores and like bars. Like, this is redneck slum. And she's like, seems like Carlene has found her way home. Rude.
Awful.
Rude. And Mary Jo's like, I don't get it. Like, what's the difference between live nude, totally nude, and completely nude?
Oh, God.
I figure with all of them, you're pretty much nude.
Oh, dear.
And then, of course, there's exotic nude. So I guess that means you get to put a flower someplace.
That is offensive.
Wow. Then they hear gunshots.
Yep.
And Julia's like, it's probably just fireworks. Somebody's celebrating. And Allison's like, celebrating what? And Julia's like, I don't know, Groundhog Day?
That was so funny.
And Allison says, I don't know about the rest of you, but Anthony, getting up at the crack of dawn and driving me home.
Says it again.
Says, yo, mama.
Yo, mama. Here's the thing. I know that was set up earlier to be the yo mama jokes, but like, he's not even using it right.
No, he doesn't use it right, like, at any point.
Closest.
I made a mashup of all the times they use it, and like, there's like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
None of them are accurate.
Like, that one is the closest. Like, your mama's gonna be the one to wake up at crack of dawn, I guess. But it's just like, what? All right.
So they arrive at Carlene's, and Julia was her first guest of 1992, so she wins a door prize. And Allison asks what that smell is, and then she explains the door prize is homemade potpourri. It's jasmine and honeysuckle. She makes it herself because they sell in the stores is not strong enough. We had potpourri growing up, and it's pretty strong. It's pretty bad. Like, in your parents, we had mild stuff.
I think we had some too,
because my dad has migraines too.
Yeah.
So ours was really mild, and it was still like really strong.
Yeah.
And Anthony's like, and covers his nose.
Yeah.
Or Allison does. And I'm sure Anthony does too. And she says when she gets time, she's going to make all of them little bathroom wreaths of this to hang in their toilet.
Yeah.
And Allison's like, well, why don't we just all go home right now and clear a space for them? Just ready to go.
Yeah.
And Mary Jo says, don't be silly. Like, we haven't even seen Carlene's apartment yet. And then Carlene's like, yeah, you have. If you've spun around, you've seen it all. Like, it's a studio. This is it. And she tells them to sit down. She has beach chairs and a bean bag spread about. There's gunfire and screaming outside. And Julia asks if she's sure this neighborhood is safe. And Carlene says, yeah, well, there's police here all the time. In fact, I heard they filmed an episode of that TV show Helltown in this very building.
Oh, my God.
And then she's like, oh, Allison, by the way, that chaise lounge is broken, so, like, don't lean back.
Yeah.
And she says,
they're on Anthony... like dramatically, hilariously sits on one of those chairs that's like you take to the beach and you're just barely off the ground.
Yeah.
There aren't actual legs. Like, it is a mess in there.
And she asks what they want to drink, and she says, I've got caffeine-free everything and punch. And everybody's like, punch, so it's punch all around.
Oh, it's sherbet punch, by the way.
Sherbet punch, yeah. It's fancy. And she says, help yourself to cheese doodles and trail mix or whatever it is she has. She's like, I was going to serve weenies, but I'm serving hot dogs as an entree.
Yeah.
So it might be redundant.
Yeah.
And she's in the kitchen, but they can still talk because she's just
the other
gone
side
to
of the
another
room.
corner of the room.
Yeah.
And she says that she invited Bernice because she thought she'd be perfect as the wacky neighbor in the sitcom of her life. And Mary Jo's like,
that was a mistake.
You invited Bernice to come by herself?
Awful.
Carlene's like, oh, I gave her a map. And Julia's like, Bernice, no, she can't. No. She gets lost in a mall. Like, she'd never find her way here, is what Mary Jo says. And then Bernice comes in. Yep. And she says she's sorry she's late, but she had to go into one of those bars just to see what Totally Nude was all about.
Well, bringing it back.
And Julia's like, or Mary Jo's like, I can't believe that you went in there. Like, what was it all about?
Yeah.
And Bernice says, listen, sister, I'm not telling. If you want to go, you can go in there and pay $17.50, which is like $50 in today's money.
Yeah.
For a bad Mai Tai, and then we'll talk.
Oh, man.
And Julia's like, oh, no, she's in that belligerent mood. Just don't engage. She's real belligerent tonight, y'all.
Capital B belligerent this episode. It is not even. It's not even funny. It's just obnoxious.
It is obnoxious. And she was like, well, hell, I wouldn't want to be engaged in any of you either.
Wow.
And then Carlene asks where her overnight bag is, and she explains she does not need one. She has pajama bottoms on under her clothes, and she doesn't sleep in a top. And Anthony's like, whoo. Looks like a crack of dawn has rolled around quicker than expected. Thanks for your hospitality, Carlene.
I love that.
And then Bernice asks what the smell is. She said, is someone spraying for bugs?
Oof.
And Mary Jo's like, no, actually, that's homemade potpourri that Carlene made. Julia won some as a door prize. And Bernice says, you should just take it and get the hell out of here. It stinks.
Wow.
Just so belligerent.
She's rude.
And Carlene starts delivering the drinks, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I only have service for 4, but like I'm getting new glasses soon. And she gives Allison hers, and she says, that's my toothbrush glass, but don't worry, I washed it out real good. And Allison spits out the punch.
I mean, girl.
It's not
fine.
like she washed it. It's not like she cleaned the toilet with it.
Yeah, I was like, what do you think goes in a toothbrush?
Just put it in a toothbrush and water. Yeah. Mary Jo asks if the porch is on fire, and Carlene's like, nope, that's just the hibachi grill. Like, I gotta go check on the hot dogs. And then Bernice is like, I didn't come here for some damn hot dogs.
Wow.
She is.
Girl.
Whew. And then Julia says, Bernice, I think you're becoming a little abrasive. And Bernice says, I don't care what you think. Let's take it outside. If you want to rumble, I've been wanting a piece of you for a long time. Like, she's like all up in Julia's face. They have stood up. It is a whole thing.
Yeah.
Anthony tries to calm her down, and she says, this is her words, not mine. Don't mess with me, Mandingo. I'll cut you.
Okay, that was the thing I wanted to look up, was Mandingo. I was like, what are y'all talking about? Because I knew it was like, sorry, I have to do a thing. I was like, I know y'all are being like racist right now. I'm not trusting things right now. So I looked up. Do you know what Mandingo is?
I have heard of it, and I feel like I've looked it up before, but I don't remember.
So I knew that it's like a movie. So in the movie Mandingo, a Louisiana plantation owner, his son has an affair with a slave. And it says, that's what it says, and he's not the only one. Is what it says on like when I Googled it. But then also the term Mandingo can refer to a West African ethnic group who originated from the upper region of the Niger River. So it's just not appropriate or respectful is what I'm hearing.
No.
Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool that they wrote that in and they had her say it and everything.
Yep. And then again, Julia says it's going to be a long night.
Yeah.
And then we cut to later. Everybody's eating hot dogs and listening to all the crime happen outside. And Mary Jo's like, my hot dog doesn't smell quite right. And Julia says, it doesn't seem to be possible, but it smells like that potpourri.
Like maybe she made the potpourri in the same thing that she made like same pot.
Maybe.
For hot dogs.
And then Anthony says, only 10 more hours and we can get out of here.
Jeez,
and
that's
Bernice
a long
is like,
time.
I don't understand y'all. If you don't like it, just don't eat it. Just put it in your purse like I did.
Yeah.
And Carlene says she's going to go put on some music, and then they all throw their hot dogs out the window as soon as she turns around.
That was so funny.
And then later, everybody is blowing up their own air mattress while Carlene apologizes because she swears
she got them air mattresses. Honestly,
yeah,
I thought that was nice. She has like nothing in that apartment.
She's nothing. And she says she swears she has an air pump, but she can't find it. And Julia's like, it's okay, Carlene. I never feel a social evening is complete unless I have at least one collapsed lung.
Oh, geez. Well.
And then some dude just like comes in the apartment, like looks around. He looks confused. Carlene smiles at him. Everybody's confused. He leaves. And like, what just happened? And she's like, oh, that's just Cheech.
He's like dirty.
Yeah, he's not clean.
Yeah.
She says, he's the block warden. He just comes in and checks on your apartment 2 to 3 times a day, whether you like it or not. And Allison's like,
I think he said whether you're here or not, which is even creepier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Allison says, he's low-life scum. And then Carlene's like, oh, Cheech, no. He's got so many things in his apartment, including 3 stereos. So, no, I don't think he'd want anything of mine.
Yeah, he probably stole that from other people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole point.
And then Bernice calls Anthony Stuff. And she
I don't
says,
like that.
Hey, Stuff, have you inflated my mattress yet?
I noticed before this that his mattress was not like out like everyone else. I was like,
yeah,
this is going to be a joke.
It's going to be a thing. And Anthony's like, Bernice, my name is not Stuff and it's not Mandingo. No. And if you want something to sleep on tonight, you better start to puffin'. And then she starts singing that Black Man song again.
Oh, it's so weird.
It's so
because
weird.
Because she's singing it almost like it's a threat.
Yeah. Every time.
So weird.
And Anthony's like, you better stop that right now. I've had quite enough of that. Then he realizes he has a blow-up doll.
Yep.
And not a mattress.
Nope.
And Carlene apologizes and says she got them in a bin at the discount store. And she's like, I guess yours was a joke. And Anthony's like, not to me. I'm not sleeping on anything called inflate a date. I'll be sleeping out in the van. I do have some pride. And then he grabs his Barbie overnight case and walks out.
That's dangerous, though.
Yeah.
Sleeping in a van there.
And then everybody's trying to like cut to them trying to sleep through all the sirens and like helicopters apparently is what it sounds like.
Like cop helicopters.
And Allison like hollers out at all of them, and then Carlene's like, "Oh, can't anybody sleep?" And Mary Jo says these mattresses are making some rude noises. Bernice is passed out in the chair.
Yeah, she didn't care.
And Mary Jo says, "Man, she's awfully feisty tonight. She must have forgot to take her blood pressure meds." And Carlene's like, oh, should we roll her over? And Mary Jo and Julia at the same time say, no.
No, leave it.
Like, if we wake her up, she'll just want to do more Indian leg wrestling. I don't know what that is. Seems offensive. I don't know.
It seems too close to, like, I'm not going to say it. Like scissoring or something. It seems like too close. I wouldn't want to be doing that with Bernice. Like, get out of here. And
then Carlene wants to do some fun slumber party stuff. And she's like, oh, do you remember when Charlie went to Buckingham Palace for that reception? And then she went to the ladies' room and passed a telephone that had their phone number written on it. She's like, I have her number. We can cold call the Queen of England.
Yeah.
And Allison's like, you're going to make a prank call to Queen Elizabeth II. Mm-hmm. Colleen's like, it's not a prank call. It's a nice call. You know,
it's like, hey,
how you doing?
I got your number.
And then she asks what time it is in England. And Mary Jo's like, I don't know, probably like 10 a.m. And then Carlene asks Julia to do it, because she's the most refined.
Yes,
and she's like, no. And then Carlene's like, well, if I get through to the Queen, will you at least say hi? She's like, okay. And then Julia asks while they're on hold or whatever. Somebody answers and they put her on hold.
Yeah.
And Julia asks if Carlene is really happy living in this apartment. And she's like, sure, I'm independent here. Like, my whole life I've had to follow everyone else's rules. And, like, here I just do whatever I want. And, sometimes if I wake up and I don't want to put on clothes, I just have a naked day. Julia, have you ever done that?
Naked day.
That's how she says it. And Julia's like, well, no, Carlene, I don't believe I have lately. Mm-hmm. Carlene's like, if you ever do, I got some tips. First, shut all the window blinds. Second, don't try fried chicken.
I can't believe that she said that.
Don't fry chicken. So she gets through and asks to speak to the Queen. And then she tells them her name and says she'll hold. And then she screams.
Yeah.
And Allison's like, they're probably tracing this call. Like, they're probably at her parents' house right now in Hooterville, surrounded, like have the whole thing surrounded.
Yeah.
And Mary Jo's like, can't believe you're doing this. And then Carlene tells Mary Jo to pick up the extension.
Phone,
so she's picking up the other phone, listening in. And Julia's like, okay, back to this apartment thing. Like, don't you find this neighborhood is a little intimidating? And Mary Jo's like, maybe we've just gotten too safe and suburban. Like, my first apartment was in Guadalajara when Ted was in Mexico. And it wasn't exactly the Taj Mahal. We had chickens running around in the hallway. There were no doorknobs around any of the doors. Like, I had to wear one around my neck on a string.
What in the world?
What? That makes no sense.
No.
The Queen actually picks up and starts talking to Carlene. And Carlene says she just wants to tell her that she's here with some friends of hers and she's her biggest fan. She has both a subscription to Royalty and Majesty magazines.
That's funny.
Julia thinks they're just pulling her leg.
Yeah.
And then Allison also thinks that. It's like, wake me up when they get through to Elvis. And then Carlene asks the queen how her Christmas was.
That's so cute.
She's precious. And Julia asks if, like, she's the queen, like she told her, like, did she tell you she's the queen? And Carlene's like, no, of course not. I called her. She's not going to pick up the phone and say, hello, queen.
Hello, queen.
And then there's a knock on the front door and Bernice wakes up and says, incoming, really loud.
Wow.
And it's Anthony and he comes in. He's like, that's it. Everyone go downstairs to the van. Don't get dressed. Put your coats on over your nightgowns. We're getting out of here. And Anthony asks who Carlene is talking to, and she says the Queen of England. And he's like, what? He picks up the phone and says, yo, mama, and
I'm so
hangs
mad.
up.
What in the world?
So dumb. And he's like, I was out in the van, and as soon as I drifted off, these 3 white guys tried to take all the tires off the truck, off the van. He's like, the crack of dawn has rolled around, and the van is leaving in 5 minutes. And Bernice is like, are we leaving? And they're like, yes. And she says, good. I've had to pee for the last 7 hours. There's no toilet paper in there. Just some of that damn potpourri on a rope.
Mm-hmm. On a rope.
On a rope.
How you got on a rope?
I don't know. And then Carlene asks where they're going. And Julia says, we're leaving. I think you should come with us. I believe this place is dangerous. Mm-hmm. And Carlene's like, you do? And Julia says, the word hellhole comes to mind.
Yeah.
And Carlene's like, do you think it's dangerous too, Mary Jo? And Mary Jo says, yep, hellhole. And then Carlene's like, I thought, it was here, like, it was fine. And then I was just a dumb hick country girl afraid of the city, but I'm scared too. And then Mary Jo tells her, you come home with us or come home with me. We'll come back. We'll get your stuff tomorrow. We'll get you out of here. And Julia says, I'm sorry. You'll no longer be able, to star in your own television show. And Carlene's like, oh, but I will. Now it'll just be 4 Creole girls on the go and their friend Jerome and their wacky friend, the Indian leg wrestler.
Oh, dear.
And at the beginning of the show, we'll all link arms and sing. And then they start singing her theme song. And then they start going out. And Anthony's the last out. And Allison's like, you can carry my bag. And Anthony says, yo, mama.
Yo, mama. Again.
And then Bernice starts singing that Black Man song again.
It's weird.
They all roll out. And then there's credits.
Between that and the movie we saw today,
I
feel like I don't know if my brain makes
too much
any sense. And also, one thing that did kind of annoy me that her studio was so ramshackle. I was like, she works for an actual design firm.
Yep.
Couldn't they
no furniture?
Do something.
Her kitchen is just a table with some glasses on it.
Mess. Did you have a favorite outfit?
I didn't.
I mean, the closest to Anthony's. Okay. I liked his. Well, more like it wasn't. I appreciated that he has been wearing he just always has these really dapper suits.
He does. Yep.
And I was like, you know what, Anthony, you just always see him just looking really nice and fancy, and there's so much growth from the first season of the delivery driver.
Yep.
But now he's a partner. He's in, he has his own business. He's in law school. All these things. I enjoy they showed him growth. Now, do they give him credit for that? No, they don't.
No, of course not.
They called him Mandingo earlier in the episode.
Yep.
And made him say "Yo, mama" at the end. Come on, that was ridiculous. But I appreciate it. I see you, Anthony.
Yep.
Well, shit. I guess that's it, huh?
That's it.
We end just as abruptly.
Yeah, as the movie
episode,
and the episode
and everything.
So many things.
Everything was just over today.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm still kind of sick, y'all. I've been sick since Thanksgiving. Leslie, where can people find us?
We are all over the internet. We are the Girls Who Came to Sugar Bakers on Podbean and iTunes, our official places. We are Sugar Baker Girls on most social media, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube, Pinterest. If you like us, please take a moment to rate and review on iTunes. Check out our YouTube page for 2 videos from this week's episode.
Yeah, that was all thanks to Leslie.
Thanks for listening. And we will talk to you
next time. Bye.
My buddy, my friend, just need to know our friendship won't end.
Notes.
Like shots.
Notes.